Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Imagination Station Summer Activities. So I'm going to be doing this experiment mostly by myself, but I do have two other partners over here who are going to help me if I need it, and they're also going to tell me if you guys put any questions into the Zoom chat for me to answer. So first of all, I am wearing this mask because I am in here with other people, and our safety is very important here at the Imagination Station. So for today's Vortex in a Bottle experiment, you're going to need a couple different things. You're going to need 2 bottles. You're going to need some water. You're going to want to be able to fill your bottle up about 2/3 to 1/2 the way full. So I have 2 containers of water here to be able to do that. Now, I really like putting food coloring and glitter in mine. So I have glitter here. It's some pretty shiny silver glitter. And then I also have some green food coloring here. Now, these are both optional, but you can put them in if you want. So to seal, so for the next ingredient you're going to need duct tape. So the duct tape method is the method we're going to be using. But if you're using the PVC and hot glue method that we mentioned in the ingredients list, if you just put your hand up in the chat, and I'll make sure to go over that with you guys later. So I also have some paper towels because I want to make sure that I don't make any messes, and you're going to see why we might need these later on. Now, before we get started, I have one joke for you guys, because if you ever come to the Imagination Station before, you know that we always do a joke of the week. So this week's joke of the week is, what is a tornado's favorite game? The answer is Twister. So now let's get started. So I am going to take one of my bottles, and I'm going to take this funnel. And I'm using a funnel because it'll be easier to get the water in, but if you're just getting the water straight from your faucet, you'll be fine probably putting it straight in. So my friend Leica here is going to hold the bottle here, and I'm going to pour the first thing of water in. Now, when I'm using the glitter, I'm going to put the glitter in before so that the water will wash it all down. And I'm also going to want to put the food dye in the bottle already. So make sure to take your time when doing this to make sure all the water, you don't spill it anywhere and it doesn't make a mess. So this may take a minute. Okay, so as you can see, we're going a little bit above halfway, and now we're at 2/3. So that is going to be the perfect amount of water for our vortex. Thank you, Leica. So now we are going to duct tape the 2 bottles together. So again, if anyone is using the PVC pipe and hot glue method, please put a hand up in the chat on the Zoom chat. So I'm going to hold this here. Leica is going to hold this here, and I'm going to duct tape. So whenever I'm duct taping, I want to duct tape right where the 2 bottles meet. So Leica, can you move your hands up here so that you can see? So you see how the 2 tops of the bottles are right next to each other? That's exactly where you're going to want to duct tape. So I'm going to start with a layer or 2 right around that. And if you're at home, you're probably going to want to have a parent or a guardian help you. So make sure the duct tape is nice and sealed and tight, because we really don't want to make a mess. So I'm also going to go a little bit above the intersection and a little bit below too, so that it's nice and tight. Now, I like to press it in too as I go to make sure it's still firm and in place. And I'm going to do a couple more laps around the middle to make sure it is all good. Okay, it's seeming pretty tight to me. So I'm going to rip the duct tape off, but if you want, you can use scissors. Okay, now that it's nice and tight, I'm going to show you guys how we're going to make our vortex. So let me get some of my stuff out of the way. So before you actually do this, you're going to want to take your paper towels and unwrap them. So I'm going to fold them over like so that I have a nice long one, and that's really thick. So I'm going to hold it around the middle where the water would leak out from. And I'm going to start making my vortex. So to make the vortex, I'm going to flip one hand over so that my thumb is facing down, and I'm going to grab the bottle. I'm also going to grab it right way up like this. I am putting my dominant hand so that I'm right-handed. I write with my right hand, so I'm going to put that on the bottom. I'm going to invert the bottle, which means flip it over, and I'm going to spin the top. Ready? Now, it kind of might be hard to see on my bottles, but there's a small, what kind of looks like a tornado forming in the middle. So I'm going to do it again so you might see how I'm going to do it. So again, thumb facing down on the bottle, grab it with my right hand, and I'm going to flip it over and swirl. Shake, 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 shake. So once it's shaking, you're going to stop shaking and you're going to see the vortex form. So it looks like a swirl going down and it looks like there's almost a hole in the water. So you might be asking, why is this happening? This happens because of gravity. So gravity wants to bring something down, which is why we don't float in the air when we walk around. So just like we don't float, the water wants to go down as far as possible. So whenever we do this, the water is falling through. So you can see a bunch of bubbles coming up as we do this. That is because if the water is coming down, the air needs to come out. So that's what's creating all these bubbles. So whenever we swirl it and make a vortex, that is the most efficient way for the water to transfer. So as we swirl it, the water is going down on the side to the swirl, and the air is coming up through the middle. So it's making a nice, no bubbles, not very aggressive way to transfer the water. So you guys can keep trying with your vortexes and see how it works. So do we have any questions?